Hello there everyone, welcome back to Press for Truth TV. Thanks for joining me once again on this Wednesday, July 4th, 2012. And to all the Americans who may be watching today, happy 4th of July. I hope you're enjoying the festivities and celebrating the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which took place on this day back in 1776. However, I can't help but wonder if the Founding Fathers were alive today. I have a feeling they would be pretty much shocked and outraged at the level of control that the government has over the individual lives of Americans and people all over the world for that matter. However, the good news today is that we are in an age now where concerned and informed citizens are really beginning to fight back against corrupt government and are beginning to win some of the battles. An excellent example of that coming out today is the fact that the EU Parliament has just voted against Acta, the anti-counterfeiting trade agreement, which has been seeking to block the free flow of information online. Here is an article out today from Steve Watson. Acta la vista, baby. Internet censorship treaty overwhelmingly defeated. The global anti-counterfeiting trade agreement, arguably the most draconian internet control legislation penned thus far, has been overwhelmingly rejected by European lawmakers following months of protests and activism undertaken by thousands across the continent. In January of this year, 22 of the 27 EU states joined other countries, including the United States and Japan, in signing on to Acta. However, it has yet to be ratified anywhere, and strong protests in Europe have caused other countries, such as Australia, to delay consideration of the treaty. In the past few months, the legislation has been dealt blow after blow, with no less than 5 powerful EU committees, as well as member states, officially rejecting the treaty. This morning, the European Parliament voted 478 against, 39 in favor, with 165 abstentions, effectively killing the legislation in its current form and ensuring for the first time that an international trade agreement cannot be ratified into law in the European Union. The EU Parliament released a statement pointing to the unprecedented direct lobbying by thousands of EU citizens who called in to reject Acta in street demonstrations, emails to MEPs, and calls to their offices. The statement also acknowledged a petition that had been signed by 2.8 million citizens urging them to reject this treaty. So this is great news today, and it's just so great to know that when enough people like that begin to raise their voices and their concerns about these types of laws, it eventually gets loud enough that it can't be ignored, and so it definitely is cause for celebration today. It's just awesome that this was voted down in the European Parliament. But before we get ahead of ourselves and pat ourselves on the back, we have to remember that this is an ongoing struggle. No doubt this thing will most likely be rebranded and reintroduced sometime down the line. So we have to constantly remain vigilant about these things, but it is good to know that when enough people take action, we can defeat these things. And we have to continue to do it at every single step of the way that they present themselves. And recently, here in Canada, it was only around 2 weeks ago or so, that the House of Commons passed Bill C-11 here in Canada, and it has yet to go to the Senate, so we are at that crucial moment where we still have time to raise awareness about that particular issue. Here is an article just out from just Yahoo News. Bill C-11 passes Commons, allowing for US-style copyright law. After months of review, it looks like the Harper government's copyright reform bill will likely become law before Parliament's summer recess. Bill C-11 passed a final vote at third reading on Monday night, bringing Canadians one step closer to SOPA-like regulations of their media consumption. According to the CBC, the bill was immediately introduced to the Senate after passing the vote and will likely be sped through the Senate review process, meaning it stands a good chance of becoming law in the coming month. Bill C-11 would allow rights holders to include digital locks on their content, which includes music, video, ebooks, and software. Users can make copies for personal backups, but all other duplication could result in fines for doing so. The movie, music, and software industries were quick to thank the Harper government for how quickly they moved on the bill, while other groups have remained cautious of the bill. Library groups, educators, consumer associations, and thousands of Canadians have expressed concern over these digital locks and what it will mean for the distribution of content. Much like how the Stop Online Piracy Act led to widespread opposition from both Americans and numerous websites, the reaction against Bill C-11 by Canadians has been overwhelmingly negative. So again, this has only passed the House of Commons and still has yet to go through the Senate. So we're just at that crucial time, and it's a good time to learn from the example of people in Europe, where just by continuing to expose this for what it is and raising enough awareness about this, this thing can essentially be defeated. So I'm going to put a link in the description to a list of all the members of Parliament here in Canada who either voted for the bill or voted against the bill. That way you can have a better idea of basically some of the people that we have to work on in the coming weeks. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. It's just something I wanted to bring to your attention today. Good news coming out of Europe, but we still have to deal with this ongoing attack on the free flow of information online here in Canada as well. And that's all for today, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. To all the PressForTruth.tv subscribers, thank you so much for your support. And if you happen to be catching this on YouTube, please check out the link in the description to PressForTruth.tv, where you can get access to these kinds of updates on a daily basis. And it's also a great way to support independent media. Anyways, guys, thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow. Take care.